Great. Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Gaston Kazimoto, and I'm working with Acme as a full-time intern in the logo department at Acme Widget Company headquarters. So I'm trying to send this memo to my boss, Larry Lawrence, on this date of 30 September 2020. So the title or the subject of this memo, I'm going to talk about the difference between civil and criminal law. You know, since the world has or was created, people, leader, citizen, and every member of any society and community, they have been using the law for guiding and leading their communities, their country, their societies, or any organization. So the reason why we hate country constitution, we have also the organization, laws and rule and regulation, and everyone is supposed to follow those regulations. And if you would like to violate that law or any constitution or any regulation, you should be subjected to approach. You should be criticized. You should be also condemned. So that is known everywhere. In addition, you know, among the different laws that we have, there is a criminal law, which is the most ancient branch of the law, and it does involve the states because crime involves some harm to society and not just harm to certain individual. In addition, the word murder, or the person who is killed, the person who was murdered, it doesn't belong to himself, or he or she doesn't belong to that person, but I belong to God, but also I belong to the community, to the society or the state. So the state is there just to defend that person. The reason why in a criminal law, this is a serious case. When you kill someone, when you harm someone, is like you are violating the person who belong to the state, to the nation. So the example that I may share with you, I remember a certain moment, it was just during the war, the rebellion, because I'm from DRC, Congo, and from Bukavu. So there were a certain colonel, commander, because he got a troop, military troop, and the name of that person was Simba Hussein. So that person was very harsh, he was very tough, he was really an aggressive commander, because a certain moment with his jeep, he came in a certain factory. That factory was for a certain man called Muyeye. So they were producing Colombo tantalite, the material that they use when they fabricate a telephone, computer. So that person was buying those mining mineral from different people. So he came there with his jeep and wanted to get a tire from the factory. So the manager who was there, he told him that this company doesn't belong to me, and I'm only hired here, so I can't give you a tie without any justification, without paying money, because my boss will ask me. So very furious and aggressive, he took his gun and he killed that person suddenly. That place, he killed him. So it was a big panic, because different employees who were working there, they were intimidated, and they were frustrated, and they were looking for their rescue. Some jump from the whole of that company, some hide themselves in a small room. So it was really a panic. Then the commander took the jeep, and he left that place. But after a time, that person went to the courts and accused, report about what happened, and the proof were there, and the tangible things were there, because anyone could testify that is Simba Hussein who killed him directly in that factory. So the guy was condemned, and everyone was happy with that condemnation, because it doesn't to say that you are a soldier or a commander or a colonel that you can kill someone and the state will stay silent, because that person belongs to the state, that person belongs to the community. So how can you kill a person because you think that you are a powerful commander, because you think that you are a powerful man, so that you can do whatever you want? So that happened, and it was a serious situation. So in addition, when we talk about a criminal law, we do not look at a murder. We do not look at a murder, genocide, war, suicide, because it depends on one country or another. You see, it's like the criminal case also, they can also involve, like the case that I speak here, genocide, when someone committed a genocide, a war, suicide, those are part of criminal cause. But apart from that, if, for example, in some countries, you violate their constitution, you violate their law and regulation, like in North Korea, for example, like in country like North Korea, if you violate the constitution, it's a serious issue, in the way that it's like you are not following what their constitution is saying. And many countries around the world, because there is a word that we call state secret, and you as a citizen, you are not supposed to reveal those secrets. And if you do it, those are called criminal cases, and criminal law should take advantage of that. And like the country like Uganda, Zimbabwe, they do not allow homosexuality. If you are gay and you are coach, so it's a case, because the government can't tolerate those kind of action. So we see those are problem, and the country, or they want you to be a good citizen, and when you violate, or when you kill, when you don't follow the regulation of that country and the rule, so you will be condemned. Secondly, a civil case. A civil case is a lawsuit that usually deal with contract and or tort. Tort, generally speaking, are wrongful acts that result in damage or injury. Also, I can say that it involves civil law or common law, which involve disputes between individual or organization, in which some form of compensation may be awarded to the victim. Civil law is a body of rule that define and protect the private rights of citizens, offer legal remedy that may be sought in a dispute, and cover area of law such as contract, tort, property, and family law. The body of law that govern ordinary private matters, separate from law presiding over criminal, military, or political matters. The body of law that governs a private or civil right, providing redress for wrong by compensating the person or entity that has been wrong rather than punishing the wrongdoer. So those are explanation about the civil case. And for example, this happened many times. For example, when my boss is very harsh and doesn't respect the engagement that we did with him. So those are civil case, and we can go further. We can go to meet lawyers. We can go to the courts so that the courts can facilitate us to resolve this issue. Or a crash, an accident between two cars. So those are civil case, and we have to see how we can resolve them, how we can find out about those situations. So between the civil and criminal case, the criminal case are very, very serious, because this is you are harming a person, you are harming individual, but you are killing an innocent, you are killing a person, and you are not supposed to do that. The reason why when it arrives at the courts, they are very serious. They are part of the person who is accusing, so that they can defend him, so that they can find out if is really what you are saying, the allegations are true and correct. So let me talk a little bit again about other things, like the burden of proof for criminal cases. So much higher than for the civil case, because criminal and civil case are attempting to do very different things. The criminal case involve an alleged violation of the law, while civil cases involve dispute between two private parties. Violent crime, it's defined as a crime that a person can do against another person. This includes crime where intentional harm is inflicted against another individual during the commission of the crime. Additionally, violent crime can include the threat of intentional harm. The infliction of the harm can include the use of weapon, poison, bodily contact, and so on. For example, the rape, murder, manslaughter, arson, terrorism, gang violence, domestic violence, and so on. So those are part of violence crime, and they should be taken seriously when they arrive at the court. So those kind of violence can happen at home. I know they can happen also at home, or at workplace, because if the boss can impose sex to his employee, this is a violence crime and condemned by the law of the country. Because I believe if any boss can impose a sex to a certain employee, because the boss thinks she's beautiful and she needs a promotion, she needs maybe to get a high salary, a good salary, and propose or impose sex to that employee. This is also a violence crime. This is part of violence, because if you do that, the person is very, very obliged to do it, because he's fearing that if I refuse, maybe my work is at risk, maybe I will not be taken for the second term, maybe my contract will not be reviewed and so on. So those are violence, and the state should defend them, or the law should defend them. And the non-violence is defined as an action of refusing to use any violence mean in order to gain political, social. For instance, if the boss doesn't accept to pay you your salary, it's not good to use violence, because you can go to the court and explain your problem so that they can assist you. You see, I know a certain man from India. The name is Mahatma Gandhi. He used non-violence in India to fight English invasion and tyranny, colonization, and he won because the law, constitution, and human rights were on his side. He taught his people that we can't use gun, we can't use aggression, we can't use, I don't know, knife, panga, and so on. So let's be humble and with non-violence, so that we can claim our rights, and people understand, and they gave them liberty or independence because of that. So I believe if we use those system, we can also reach to the good result, because some people, they can say eye for eye, teeth for teeth. No, we are not at that stage, because the violence cannot be resolved by using another violence. So that is a big problem, and the world can be broken, and the community can be broken. We need to use some system that can resolve and conserve the peace between people. So the difference between a felony and a misdemeanor is the amount of time that you may spend in jail if the court convict you of the charge. So a misdemeanor offense came with no longer than 1 year behind bar at maximum. However, felony is a more serious crime. Example, murder, rape, arson, and kidnapping. The punishment for this crime may include life in prison or the death penalty. Then the court should protect the right of the defendant, because it carries a harsh sentence. So in this case, what I'm trying to explain here is these two cases, the felony and the misdemeanor. So with this misdemeanor, we see it's a case that can be understood, and it can take no longer than 1 year behind bar at maximum. So the jury, the court doesn't take it seriously, because it's under 1 year. But when we are talking about felony, and we see there is a murder, there is a rape, there is arson and kidnapping, this is a serious case. If you did something related to this, so the court is very, very serious, because they are going to examine article after article, point after point, and see if you are guilty. And if you are guilty, really, you will receive a serious punishment. So the reason why it should be examined. The white collar crime is a non-violence crime committed for financial gain, according to the FBI, Federal Bureau Investigation, a key agency that investigates these offenses. These crimes are characterized by deceit, concealment, or violation of trust. The motivation for this crime is to obtain or avoid losing money, property, or services, or to secure a personal or business advantage. For instance, if the money was lost in the company, The manager or boss should not violate employee rights. However, he should proceed and involve other organizations and people in order to resolve the issue. Mean that the white collar crime should be applied. For instance, I remember again another certain case which happened in my home country. This one was a certain woman, the owner of a certain factory which was producing cigarettes. That the name of that cigarette was a Sportsman, and that company was called Isabico. So that woman, one day she lost her money, and instead of going and asking maybe the courts to and other people to do the investigation, she took one of the employee and starts beating him, because soldiers come and beat, really they violate that person. They beat him till he starts even like bleeding, and they put him even in a jail. But those are violence, and the white collar crime must defend this person, because you are there not to torture people because of your property, because of your money, because you want to gain your stuff, but you should proceed by respecting human dignity. You should proceed by respecting that person as a human and hands himself in himself. So we have to go to the court and making some investigation to know really if that money is him who took it, so that they can be paid back. And the white collar crime must defend this person. So those were a few things that I wanted to share with you, and it was a good pleasure, Mr. Larry Lawrence, to share this story, this information about the law with you. Thank you very much.